It's week 4 in the NFL. This is Into the Weekend with BetDSI. You're watching SBR Videos. I'm Peter Loshak. Brent, thanks so much for doing this call with us every week. The first game I want to ask you about, KC at Cincinnati, right? Cincinnati absolutely rolling. Not a big line considering how dominant Cincinnati has been on the field, just -4. I'm assuming Cincinnati's a big public play. I'm wondering why the line hasn't moved.
Well, just -4, he says. Yeah, I mean, the reason the line's down to -4, it was up to 4.5, but I had sharp money come in on Kansas City, and more than one person as well, plus the 4.5. There's two guys who took the plus 4.5, and also the plus 170 on the money line with Kansas City. This is one of those cases that we look for. I mean, you just pull the rabbit out of the hat. This is a really strong public sharp split with the sharp money on Kansas City and the public money all over Cincinnati. My count is about 3-1 in favor of the number of wagers I've taken on Cincinnati. And my money favors Kansas City pretty strong too. Again, it favors Kansas City because we got bigger, sharper action coming in on the Chiefs than we do on the Bengals. Bengals are made up of a lot of small bets, but Kansas City's a very strong play. Again, when I get 2 or 3 sharp guys on the same side, it's a really strong play, and that's the case here. As you expect, typically the public is betting the over. I don't really have any sharps on the total at all. I'm seeing at 45, but the line sitting right now, Cincinnati -4, Kansas City plus 4.5 was definitely sharp action, Peter.
That is why we do this show. Brent, thanks so much. Next time I want to ask about Philly and Washington. Philly's always an interesting team to ask about because on any given Sunday I could see the public coming all in on Philly. We know that the sharps like Philly on their futures odds beginning of the season. You told us that. They haven't, panned out, though, against the spread so far this year. Here they're a road favorite at Washington. Just wondering what the betting profile for this game is.
Yeah, I mean, this is a case where even still, Philly's off a win now, so the tide has changed for them, I guess we'll say. But here they go on the road to Washington. Again within the division, and they're sitting at 3-point favorite right now. Philadelphia, we're bouncing back and forth between like 3 dog 15, 3 flat with Philadelphia being favored. Totals down to 43.5. The action again is very one-sided in terms of Philadelphia action. We're talking. I mean, it's one of the biggest splits I have of the week. I mean, it's really, really strong in terms of the public action that I have on Philadelphia. I'm going to say I have respectable money on Washington. I'm not even going to call it pseudo sharp, but guys who, take the rubber band off the bankroll and fire, they are on Washington plus the 3 -110. That's why we've kind of been bouncing back to 3 flat and 3 dog 15, sometimes 3 dog 20. So we are getting some bigger bets on Washington, but the public's just, swarming all over Philadelphia as you expect for most of the year, I guess. Again, the total is a situation where you're normally going to get more public people betting Philadelphia games over. That is the case today, but I do have sharp money on Philadelphia Washington under. Now the under 45.5 is where they came in. That line's been knocked down all the way to 43.5, Peter.
That has to probably, I'm assuming, do with the weather report. Inclement weather possibly for this game. And then the next game I want to ask about, Green Bay at San Francisco. Now we know that a lot of these NFL sharps love, ugly underdogs, and San Francisco is a big underdog and pretty damn ugly. And, if you tell me that the sharps came in on San Francisco, even getting 8, I'm not sure if I would have the balls to tail it. Is that what happened in this game, Brent?
Well, I wouldn't even have the courage to tell you that the sharps are coming in on San Francisco, Peter, because they're not in this case.
Okay.
I mean, this is a case where I do have, again, we're going to say some decent money on San Francisco when the line crept up to 9. Right now we have Green Bay -8. Now, I had what I would call sharp action Green Bay -7, but again, that was one hit and boom, the line moved back up right away. So, I mean, I'm not going to say I've got, good two-way sharp action on this game. I've got sharper action Green Bay -7 and respectable deep pocket money, we'll call it, on San Francisco +9. Now, the money +9 is someone who may, break even at the end of the year, but it's not really going to, make a ton of money either way. Obviously, teasers, parties, public stuff, all one way in terms of Green Bay. My count on the actual number of bets I've taken on this game are almost 10-1 favoring Green Bay. Wow. That's really, really huge, yeah. And again, Green Bay and the over go hand in hand, just like Philadelphia and the over do.
Jeez, well, I wouldn't bet San Francisco, but if I had to take a side here, I definitely would take San Francisco over Green Bay. The public all over Green Bay, though. All right, Brent, a lot of people are surmising that this is going to be a week of the dogs. A lot of underdogs looking attractive just based on the chatter that I'm reading. You've already told us KC is a big sharp side. Washington taking respectable money. Are there any other underdogs this week that have attracted notable sharp action you can tell us about, Brent?
Well, the only real sharp action I do have is all dog money. You're right on that count, Peter. Starting with the game game over in Wembley there, the Jets and Miami. I can't really say that Miami's the home team there, but the early sharp action did come on Miami +3 -115 and +2.5. I've got actually 3 different guys all on Miami there. So it was started at +3 -15 and a 2.5 bouncing in between there. Jets are -1.5 right now. I could see that line going down even more, I guess, just because the big deep pockets that came in Miami and the money that came is sharp. We also have over money that's sharp on that game, the over 41. We're sitting at 42 right now. Down to another dog, a dirty dog for you, Tampa Bay at home to Carolina. Carolina is 3 -120 right now. The sharp action that I took on this game was +3, +110 on Tampa Bay. Again, this is a case where I've got a ton of public money on Carolina, almost about 10-1 in terms of the number of wagers, but my money actually favors Tampa Bay. So that's a case where the public is all over Carolina. Sharps are on Tampa Bay, different splits there. We talked about the Philadelphia-Washington under there. Kansas City is another dog, +4.5 that we talked about. Cleveland money. Cleveland's a definite live dog there. I got money on Cleveland, both +9 and also +7.5, -115. San Diego's now been bet down to -7, -115. Again, this is a case where my count is about 5-1 in terms of the number of wagers favoring San Diego. But I have, I got 2 different sharps on Cleveland. They took the +7.5, -115. +9 was the first bet that came in. Even money line action on Cleveland +285. So that's something to look out for there. Also, the under in that very same game, the under 45.5 was sharp. I've got no sharp money on the over at all. Basically, just public money on the over with that Cleveland-San Diego game. Again, under 45.5 was sharp. We're seeing at 44.5 right now. Some bets that didn't really make the cut, but also some live dogs I had were Houston +6.5. They're at Atlanta. Line's -6 right now. Giants +6.5. They're at Buffalo. Line's down to 5. And Detroit, Seattle, the under there, the under 44 and 43.5 were both sharp. We're down to 43 right now. So, Houston +6.5 and the Giants +6.5. They're both what I would call pseudo sharp action, but not guys that quite made the list. But the line definitely moved in their favor.
I'll be very interested to see whether the sharps cash with KC this week. Brent from BetDSI, thanks so much. Talk to you again next week.